Now we are moving to the next one, that is cost of equity. Under cost of equity, we calculate a cost under 3 different approaches, actually 4, that is cost of preference share will also come, cost of retained will also come. Here under cost of equity, we do come across with 3 methods. The first method is dividend discount method, where dividends will be given more, dividends will be issued at a discount. EPS, earning price per method, earning is based on operating profit, and dividend growth method. When it is the dividend will be growth, that is percentage of increase in a dividend will leads to growth in dividend. Based on that we calculate cost of equity. In your examination they might give you any of the 3 method, you should identify whether it is a dividend method, EPS method or a dividend growth method. When I call dividend discount method, dividend is a major proportion. Current market, CMP stands for a current market price. Since equity share is being traded in stock exchange, the current market price will also be considered instead of face value. Okay. When it comes to NP, net profit, same procedure, whether it is issued at par, premium or a discount. And when it comes to earning price method, earnings, or P stands for profit, E stands for earnings, profit or earnings, anything can be called, divided by CMP, current market price or a net proceeds. When it comes to dividend growth method, same, dividend will be given importance, CMP, current market price, what is the percentage of growth that is going to be expected after certain number of years will be represented. So these are the 3 methods. When we come across with dividend method, how do you identify whether it is a growth, whether it is a dividend or discount method is or a earning price approach. When growth rate has been given, we consider it as a growth approach. When earning price has been given, we considered earning price approach. When only dividend has been given, we consider it as a dividend discount approach. I repeat, when only dividend is being given, dividend discount method or a dividend price method we do call it as. Okay. When earnings have been given or an operating profit, profit which has been given, we represent it as a earning price method. And when it comes to a growth, along with the dividend they will be giving a growth rate, that means the dividend growth method. So let us look up to the illustration, that is a problem. Dividend price approach or a dividend discounting method. A company issues 50,000 equity shares of rupees 100 each. Its current market price is 1000 and the current dividend is 50 rupees. They have directly given total number of equity shares is 15,000, for each costing at rupees 100 rupees each, but right now it is being traded while issuing a dividend we have been issued at 100 rupees, but right now it has been trading under 1000 rupees. The current market price is 1000. So here the formula is D divided by CMP, stands for current market price or net proceeds, into 100. So dividend they have clearly given 50 rupees under first problem and current market price is 1000 rupees. So KE is equal to 50 divided by 1000 into 100, that gives you 5%. This is the cost of equity under discount method, dividend discount or dividend price approach method. It's very simple. So here they have not specified not growth rate, they have not specified any profit, that means it is a dividend discount approach. Look up to the second problem. A company issued 5,000 equity shares of rupees 100 each as fully paid. Okay, it is a paid up share. The market price of the share is rupees 160. So current market price is 160. The company has paid a dividend of 8 per share. So for one shares they have paid around 8 rupees. So formula is D divided by current market price. So 8 divided by 160 into 100, the cost of equity is 5%. That is how we need to calculate. Please do have a clarity with regard whether it is a dividend price approach, earning price approach or a growth approach. Please make a note of it. When it comes to a dividend price approach, only dividend or a current market price has been given. Suppose if they give you a net proceeds, it is fine, you consider it. But when it comes to earnings, dividend is a portion of profit, but here total profit will be given to you, out of which you have to calculate the cost of equity. Okay, hope you understand with the first method. Next move on to the earning price method. Okay, as I tell, earnings will be given important. Earnings are nothing but a operating profit of a company. So here instead of D we replace it with P. P stands for price, or E, earnings, that is divided by CMP into 100. Look up to the first problem. Well-Do Company Limited is currently earning 15% operating profit on its share capital of rupees 20 lakh, face value for share is 200 per share. It is interested to go for an expansion for which the company requires an additional share capital of 10 lakh rupees. See, Well-Do Company Limited want to raise an additional capital of rupees 10 lakh rupees. Okay. So, for that they want to issue equity shares. Right now they have 20 lakh on their hand, that is what, 20 lakh rupees, okay, 200 per share. What is that 15%? 15%, please underline that 15% is an operating profit. Operating profit is nothing but your earnings. I repeat, operating profit is nothing but your that is earnings or a profit. Do not get confused with the dividend. Dividend is a portion of profit. This is a total profit which is being calculated on a capital 20 lakh. So, profit is 20 lakh into 15%, you will get around 3 lakh rupees. Please make a note of it. A portion of profit distributed is called as dividend, where it has been on profits. The dividends will be calculated on profit. Profit will be calculated on face value or a capital of a company. The total capital is 20 lakh into 15%, that gives you 3 lakh rupees. So, the 10 lakh rupees is an additional additional capital that has been required for us. This is the about data. For that, this is the cost we are getting. So, ignore 10 lakh rupees. Company is raising this amount, that is, I want 10 lakh rupees. So, Well-Do Company Limited is raising 10 lakh rupees by issuing a equity share at 10% premium, and with the expected flotation cost is 5%. 10% they are issuing at a premium with the flotation cost. So, again here instead of CMP they have not given the current market price, flotation cost and premium means we will calculate a net proceeds. So, price divided by profit divided by net proceeds into 100. Step 1, calculation of profit or an earnings, 20 lakh into 15%, 15% specified in your question. So, that is 3 lakh, 1 is being calculated. Step 2, calculation of net profit, since they have not given current market price. In the previous one they had given directly a current market price, here they have not given, you need to calculate the net proceeds. Face value is 20 lakh rupees, premium is 10% of premium, 10% means it 10% on face value, 2 lakh rupees, 22 lakh less flotation cost, the cost which has been spent on a issuing of a shares. So, 1 lakh, that will give you, that is the flotation cost is 5%, 5% on face value. So, again 1 lakh, so total net proceeds is 21 lakh. Hope you understand. So, step 1 we calculated the profit, step 2 we calculated the net proceeds. So, substituted 3 lakh divided by 21 lakh into 100, 14.28 is your cost of equity. So, here this is the earnings, that is a profit or earnings, one and the same, and this is the net proceeds. Okay, hope you understand. Now, we move on to the second problem here. A firm is currently earning rupees 10 lakh and its share is selling at a market price of 90 rupees. A firm is currently earning 1 lakh rupees. Earning directly they have given earnings P bar E, earnings is 1 lakh. Okay, earnings is 1 lakh. Please make a note of it. A firm is currently earning profit. Earning profit is nothing but earning. So, 1 lakh rupees and its share is selling at a market price of 90 rupees. So, what is the current market price? 90 rupees. The firm has 10,000 outstanding shares, has no debt, compute the cost of capital. So, cost of equity. So, 10,000 into 90 rupees. So, it will give you 9 lakh. So, what 1 lakh divided by 9 lakh into 100, that gives you 11 lakh, sorry 11%, that is your cost of equity. So, either you can divide 1 lakh, what is it, 90, you can divide 1 lakh divided by 10,000, that gives you 10, 10 divided by 90 can also be substituted, or for the total value can substitute. Hope you understand. So, that is 10,000 into 90, that gives you a 9 lakh, sorry it is a 90 lakh. So, 1 lakh divided by 9 lakh into 100. Next is a dividend yield, we call it as, or we do call it as a dividend growth approach, where every dividend has got certain number of growth. Even it gets saturated to some extent, the growth rate may be in a declining, the growth rate can decline for certain number of years. So when it comes to dividend growth, we mention a growth rate, D divided by C and P divided by NP plus growth rate into 100. Look up to the first problem. The average rate of dividend paid by X Limited for the last 5 years is 25%. That is 25% is the growth dividend which is been given. The earnings of the company have recorded a growth rate of 4% every year. The profit has been increasing with a record of 4% every year. G, growth rate stands for 4%, 4 divided by 100 will give you 0.04. The market value of the equity share is estimated to be 110 rupees per share. So the current market value is 110 rupees, sorry. So growth rate is 0.04. See here in this problem, the average rate of dividend is 25% for the last 5 years. From the previous 5 years, it is 25%. We don't know the face value, so we assume it as 100 rupees. Excuse me. So 100 rupees into 25%, that give you 25. So dividend is 25 divided by 110 plus growth rate into 100, that gives you 26.72%. Excuse me. Hope you understand. So here dividend will give you an percentage. They have specified it as 25%. Since they have not given a face value, we assume a face value. We assume it as 100 rupees. So please make a note on it. Assumption, face value is assumed as 100 rupees. If they have not mentioned, here in this problem they have not mentioned. So 25% of 100 rupees is 25 rupees. Current market price they have given. The growth rate is 0.04 divided by 100, that gives you 4%, that is a decimal. KE stands for 26.72%. Next, look up to the second problem. A company plans to issue 5,000 new equity shares of rupees 100 each at par. The share issue charges expected to be 2% of the per share. So how many equity share? 5,000 equity share, the face value is 100, and again cost of shares is expected with the issue price, that is 2%. 2% is the cost of issue expenses which has to be considered for net proceeds. So 100 minus 2, 100 into 2%, 2 rupees, 100 minus 2 will give you 98 rupees. Okay, the company pays a dividend of rupees 10% initially, and the growth rate in dividend is expected to be 10%. Compute the cost of new issue of a equity share. So growth rate is 10%, 0.10, dividend is 10 because face value is 100, 10% of 100 will give you 10 rupees. So next we don't have a current market price, instead we have a net proceeds. So face value is 100 minus 2% of 100 rupees will give you 2 rupees, 98 rupees is your net proceeds. So the dividend is 10 rupees divided by 90 plus growth rate 0.10 into 100. The cost of equity is 20.20. So this is how we need to calculate the cost of equity on dividend discount, earning and a growth method. Together I have taught you. Do not get confused and don't get do not get confused yourself, and don't interrupt. Don't get confused with the current market price as well as the net proceeds. So here clearly I have designated, if only dividends and the current markets has been given, it is a dividend discount approach. If operating profit or earnings, I repeat, operating profit or earnings has been given, it is earning price approach. If growth rate has been given, it's a dividend growth method. These are the three methods that will be used. So till here we came to know how to calculate the cost of debt, cost of preference share with the two method, that is irredeemable and redeemable, and cost of equity. We calculate all these are the basics to calculate weighted average cost of capital. Weighted average cost of capital is nothing but the proportionate of cost, debt and equity distributed for collection of a share capital. The proportionate of debt and equity that has been collected for the calculation of cost of that is total capital of a company. We are going to calculate the total weights. Now, in the next slide, we should look up to the next method, that is cost of, that is weighted average cost of capital. Before that, there is one more method called cost of retained earnings. Retained earnings is nothing but that is the earnings which has been retained in an organization. If KRE, we represent it as retained earnings. If KRE is not given, KE, cost of equity, will be considered. If cost of preference share is not given, KP is equal to KE, KRE is equal to KE, KE is also is equal to cost of equity. That means cost of retained earnings is also will fall under equity, cost of equity will also fall under, ordinary share will fall under equity, cost of preference share will also fall under cost of equity. So, all these three are KE itself. So, here retained earnings means we do call with the dividends. Here we do not fall under current market price, instead of that we go with the face value or a net proceeds, and since it is a retained earnings profit of a company, we do consider the tax as well as a brokerage. We do consider the tax as well as a brokerage. So, here we conclude with the calculation of cost of capital, and next we move on to the weighted average cost of capital. Thank you.